Hi, this is Kurt with Friendly DevOps, and today I have something to share with you. I just got this in. This is T14 Gen 6. And the reason I got this was I have my computer that I'm using right now to record is a T14 Gen 4. And I'm pretty disappointed with the battery life. It's an AMD 7840. Most laptop manufacturers claim all-day battery life for their laptops. And most reviewers, when they do their battery test, claim 12-hour usage off of a single charge. But when you get it in real life, it only lasts about 5 hours. So when the Intel Lunar Lake came out and I saw their test about 22 hours for video playback over Wi-Fi and things like that, I just decided that I'm sick and tired of being chained to a plug. It's time for me to finally get a laptop with real all-day battery life that can run Linux. So that's why I picked this up. On top of that, when I started looking for it, I actually got quite a steal. I managed to get this. This looked like a return, an unopened return that has top of the line chips, the 268V with 32 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. And let's go over the ports. So here you have two USB-C ports, an HDMI port, an USB-A, and a headphone jack. And on this other side, you have an RJ45 and a USB-A. So now I'm going to charge this puppy up and see what it can do. 2 days later, and surprise, I also got this in, which is the X915, which is spec'd with a 258V Lunar Lake processor, 1 terabyte of storage, 32 gigabytes of RAM. And yeah, I actually ordered this before I bought the T14. But when I saw this T14 on sale for actually 33% off, I decided, let me check it out because it's actually cheaper than this one. And tell the truth, I was very scared of getting this because it's not a traditional ThinkPad, and I wasn't sure whether or not I would enjoy it. Turns out it wasn't as clear cut as I thought it was going to be, but this turns out to be really good, especially for 20% off that I got it because Lenovo is always having sales, and this one I got from a third-party seller, as I said. This came from an open box, this came from a return unopened, and so it was perfect condition. And let's go over the differences here. But I have to say, the biggest thing that I wanted to get from these was battery life, and the initial way I had it set up and the initial way that I set up my laptops in general, we're wasting the battery life, and I'll have a video up on that later on with some comparisons demonstrating how much battery I was wasting. And essentially came down to one feature that I had kept on, not realizing what its effect was as far as the battery was concerned. But once I resolved it, I was able to demonstrate that, yeah, the battery claims that they have for these new laptop Lunar Lakes are actually legit. This one has a 57 watt hour battery. This one has a 80 watt hour battery, but this comes with but the T14 comes with an IPS screen, which is 1920 by 1200. The X9 comes with an OLED panel that is 2880 by 1800. So the X9 drains battery faster than the T14, but since the capacity is significantly larger by almost 30%, that results in the X9 having significantly greater battery life than that of the T14 Gen 6. So the differences between these two laptops is, first, this T14 has better port selection. It starts with, we have two USB-Cs, an HDMI, and a USB-A, and a headphone jack. Then we have an RJ45 port and a USB-A. Now for the X9, we have a USB-C on one side, headphone jack, and a USB-A. And on the other side, we have an HDMI port and a USB-C. So the T14 Gen 6 has one more USB-A port and a RJ45 port, which for me is really comes in handy because I have a home lab and sometimes I need to connect into the network, and doing so with a laptop with a built-in RJ45 port instead of having to use a dongle is so much more advantageous. Now for me, at this point, battery life is the most important thing between these two laptops. And the way I set up my laptops is to preserve their battery, so I don't charge over 80%, and I try my best to keep it from depleting under 20%. And so with that setup, if I keep within those boundaries on this ThinkPad here, I get about 13 hours of mixed use out of this, and I get about 9 hours of mixed use out of this, out of the T14. And if for whatever reason I end up having to exceed that, since I don't charge over 80%, that extra 20% at the bottom would give me another 3.5 hours on here and another 2 hours or so on the T14. Now, the keyboards on here, the T14 is definitely superior by a noticeable amount, but the keyboard on the X9 isn't terrible. I like it. And with the haptic touchpad here, I like that better than here. And even though it doesn't have the track point on the X9, I don't find that very significant. I don't use it as much, but I actually do use the track point buttons from time to time, especially the center one. It's very easy to open and close new tabs for links using that center button. Now, as I stated, the battery life is the most important thing to me, but both of these laptops will do an all-day battery life. And this does more than 1 day. This can last you up to 2 without needing to charge. This will have to be charged every day, generally. And because of the RJ45 and the better keyboard, I was really, really leaning towards keeping this one. But the biggest problem I have with this is that it has a horrible, horrible screen. When I first checked out the webcam on here, I was actually taken aback thinking that the webcam, the 5 megapixel webcam on here was downgraded. But after checking out some videos, I quickly realized it was the quality of the screen. And if I had the same screen that I had in my T14 Gen 4, which is IPS touchscreen, I would have definitely kept this, even with this weaker battery, because like I said, it has the RJ45 port and it has a better keyboard. Because the screen is so poor on this, I have to reluctantly say that I'm going to be keeping the X9. I'm going to be sending the T14 Gen 6 back to the seller, and hopefully it finds a home that actually wants to keep it. So I'm about as surprised as you are that I chose the X9, but Yeah, this is going to be my daily driver, and I hope to be having this for several years. It's actually the most expensive laptop that I've ever bought, so no regrets. Until the next time, take care. Peace.